I'm going to put this graphic on the screen, and you guys basically tell me thumbs up or thumbs down, yes or no, whether this is a good coaching candidate for the Knicks. Joel, I know you have a say in this, so feel free to chime in as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yahoo Sports gave us 10 candidates. Obviously, there's a million more, but these are the 10 that they threw out there. I want to know how you guys feel about this. First up, Mike Malone. You knew this was coming. Mars,
I'm kind of indifferent to Mike Malone. I don't know. Like, I think Mike Malone was a good coach in Denver, but like,
he rage Joker.
The Knicks needs, in my opinion, I think the most important thing that the Knicks need to get with their hire is like someone who can give, because I kind of agree that it's hard to upgrade with the current personnel that you got. I think they need somebody that's going to light a fire under Cat's ass and get him to play defense. Like, I don't know. I think they need somebody tough.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's like maybe
a psychologist, like
maybe a magical fairy. Like if we rub a lamp, a genie will come out, and then he'll go ding, and then Cat will be a good defender. I don't know. I never really liked Mike Malone as like Mike Malone's an alright coach. I think they can do better, honestly. Though,
Logan, what's the separation between Mike Malone and Tibbs?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a ton of difference. I think Malone's a little more flexible, but like. I want a guy who's X's and O's, who comes up with like a good scheme and game plans. And like I know Malone's not dumb or anything. I just feel like Jokic may have inflated how much people think like how great a coach he really is. So I don't know. I think they can do better.
Mars, am I ridiculous in thinking? Am I ridiculous in thinking with football? Because the way we are today in pro basketball. The advanced offenses, the advanced defenses. Am I ridiculous in thinking that we can move into a space where I have an offensive coordinator, where I have a defensive coordinator, where I have somebody that runs my offense, where I have somebody who runs my defense, as opposed to me just doing all of this stuff? I'm responsible for rotations. I'm responsible for play calling. I'm responsible for all of this stuff. Am I ridiculous in thinking that maybe I can hire somebody? And before you answer that, Moss, which is why I was thinking maybe it wasn't a good idea to get off of Tibbs just yet.
I don't know anything about football.
So
ask the question again.
So in pro football, Mars, you got, like you saw with the quarterback, you got a guy who's in charge of the offense.
Okay.
And in pro football, you also got a guy who's in charge of the defense. He doesn't touch the offense. Okay. He doesn't touch the offense. Then you got the head coach. He manages all of this stuff because of how complex it is. Well, I feel like where we are in pro basketball today with the advancement of the offense, how much more complex it is it ridiculous for me to think that I could hire an offensive coordinator and I can hire a defensive coordinator, a guy that's just responsible, kind of like what Tibbs was doing when he was
I thought that's what was already happening. I just didn't know if they had labels. Coaches. But I figured that's what like the assistants were. I figured like on the Lakers coaching staff, Nate McMillan was responsible for the defense. And like Scott Brooks or whoever was responsible for offense, and JJ Redick was just not the figurehead, but he's the one above both of them. I thought that's what was happening. Just maybe they don't get given the title of offensive coordinator. But I don't know. I'm not on the bench.
The Grizzlies assistant coach, I think they were running his scheme. And then it's like, okay, you move on from Taylor Jenkins, and he's still been implementing the same scheme throughout the entire season. Now he's just the head coach. So I thought like assistant coaches were just like that type of
I don't know. I always say I don't know what these coaches actually do. So I always struggle with,
because you got like 8 or 9 of them over there.
Yeah, so like we give the head coach a lot of credit or blame when things go wrong, but like maybe the things we're blaming them for, they're not even responsible for. So like I don't know. In terms of Michael Malone, I don't know. I guess. I mean, he can get Cat to average close to a triple-double. That would be
cool. All right. The next guy I got for you guys. Villanova guy to pair up with the Villanova guys. Jay Wright. Remember, he's not coaching at Villanova right now, so he is currently a free man.
Ron, if we're doing that, then we got to go get Dan Hurley. If we're doing that. If we're going after Jay Wright, then if you're going after a coach who was just in college, then we got to go after Dan Hurley, because I think Dan Hurley, I think his offense, I think it's as modern as it gets. He runs a pro-style offense in college where it's almost impossible to cover. He just didn't have the personnel last season at UConn. He didn't have a go-get-it guy. He didn't have a guy who can just get off the dribble. I'm a little bit partial, John D. I watch college basketball, but I'm a little biased when it comes to UConn. I grew up with Dan Hurley, so I do watch a lot of UConn basketball. He didn't have a guy who was a go-get-it guy off the dribble. That was the difference. But in terms of his offense, he ran a lot of action, a lot of split action, a lot of double drag, a lot of slip, a lot of stuff that's almost unguardable. Could he take that offense to the NBA? I think it would work. I think the problem is trusting a college coach. I think that's the biggest issue that I have when it comes to a guy coming from college, especially on that kind of team, Joel. Like, he's not coaching the Trailblazers, right? He's not coaching Utah where there's a bunch of young guys with a development. This Knicks team is at the doorstep. Like, why the hell are we listening to you?
But what about just his personality too, Chill? Because Dan Hurley gets on his players in a way that you don't see in the NBA. He's like
gonna make Cat cry in that way. Yeah, he's gonna make Cat cry.
A lot of NBA players may not be ready for that. He's gonna come into a system. It doesn't matter where he goes. It's like some NBA players just aren't willing to take that from a coach. It's like, look, bro, you're just here. Like, if anything, if depending on where I am on the team, if I don't like you, you're gone. Like, if he gets into it with Brunson, you think they're gonna move off of Brunson? Like, so that's I think that's one of the main issues with bringing Hurley in, and I think the same situation happened with the Lakers. Like, the Lakers are one of the biggest markets in basketball. Same could be said with the Knicks. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that. As soon as you walk in, you're in a situation where I just won 2 championships back to back. I got a really good team that can bring in talent every single season. Why would I want to move up? Why would I want to move up?
I want to. But Chill, what you guys highlighted about just kind of the NBA personalities, and obviously it's a different ball game. It's grown men. You have to coach them differently. But maybe that's why Jay Wright may be a good fit. He knows Josh Hart. He knows Mikal Bridges. He knows Jaylen Brunson. He raised these guys. So maybe he'll be able to resonate to them in a way that somebody else can't. Now, obviously, you got other guys. You got Mitchell Robinson. You got Karl Anthony Towns. You got OG Anunoby. He still has to connect with these guys, too. But he already has that connection with the foundation of this team.
With that being said, though, Ron, it's different raising your son and then talking to him when he's 25 as opposed to when he's 12. And that's basically who Jay Wright, he had him as kids. Okay, he's transitioning to, $50 and $60 million players. These guys think different. These guys play different. Their attitude is different. This isn't college anymore. We don't have off-campus apartments. I'm married and I got kids. I got a family. So there's a way that, I feel like Jay Wright, I'm not saying that the game is passing by. I'm not insinuating that at all. What I am saying, though, is it's a different level when you get to the pros. And guys that I coached in college, I can't coach them the way I did on the pro level for the money, for the kind of player that they are at this point, and for where they are in their career. So I think it's a little bit different.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy. All right, I'm gonna throw these coaches back up here. Joe, you just chime in whenever we find the guy that you would like. All right, Mike Brown. How we feeling about Mike Brown?
Next.
Okay. Johnny Bryant.
I like it. I like this one.
You like it?
This is my pick.
Who's Johnny Bryant coach? I'm sorry.
He was the assistant for the Cavaliers.
Okay.
This past season, and then before that, for like the previous 4 or 5 years, he was the assistant with the Knicks. The Knicks have been very high on him since like 2022. They're very high on him. The only hurdle is that Tibbs was the coach, but he's one of 2 final candidates for the Suns head coaching job. Him and Jordan Ott, who's another assistant for the Cavaliers. I like Johnny Bryant. I think he is young. He has a sound offensive philosophy. He definitely contributed to what the Cavaliers did last year. It's just about, are you moving on from Tibbs for a rookie head coach? I think from a PR perspective, it's very hard to spin that and have anybody outside of the fan base be positive about it. I know within the fan base, this is who Knicks fans want to be the next head coach.
Okay. Well, keep an eye on Johnny Bryant and more so who the Suns.
Did you have him on your staff, Joe?
Yes, before this season.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up in the list that they've given us, we have Taylor Jenkins. Thoughts on Taylor? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm partial to this. It's in the same Mike Malone boat, in my opinion, to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this would be a very different job for Taylor Jenkins, just because like so much of what you think that he did well with Memphis was like getting a young team to really play hard, sort of maximizing their defensive level. Obviously, just the entire development of a young core in Memphis was really impressive, and just a very different team identity, playing fast. So it's tough for me to say without having seen him like coach in multiple spots as the head guy, how good of a fit he would be. But I do think that Taylor Jenkins is a pretty good NBA coach and he has the experience. So I don't think that that would be bad.
All right. It's a ton of other coaches on this list. So I'm going to just list off some names and you guys can stop me if you find a guy that you guys think is good, or if you just want to comment on how terrible of a fit it would be. Mike Budenholzer.
I'm good.
I'm out on Coach Bud.
Frank Vogel.
I'm good.
Yo, what's your problem? Whoa, Ron. What's the problem with Frank? Hold on. I don't understand what the problem is with Frank. Is this a lateral move, Joe? Is this
2014? I'm all over this, man. 10 years ago, yeah, let's go.
Frank does have a lot of Tibbs vibes. I think that they're like similar personalities, obviously defensive-minded guys. I think he's a good defensive coach. I don't think he's a miracle worker, though.
Do they need a miracle in New York, though?
I think defensively, I think they do need a miracle.
I think they need a drill sergeant for Cat.
I need an offensive
coach. Now, wait a minute, because remember, I mean that Orlando team that he coached, they were a joke, but he had them as one of the better defensive teams in the game
for sure.
That Laker team, we don't know. And for you guys out there that's saying you did not know who Alex Caruso was back then. No, you didn't. You're lying. So this Laker team, they were one of the better defensive teams in the game. And I think that was, I mean, we already know who Anthony Davis is as a defender. James was on the other side of who he used to be as a defender. But Frank Vogel had this team really good as a defensive team. So
we had a way better personnel, though, than the defensively than the Knicks have now. Like, we had Caruso, KCP, Kuzma was given effort. We had
Avery Bradley too in the regular season.
Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo. We had a decent center rotation that could play next to AD. We had a really good personnel for Frank Vogel to use these guys. And what the difference is, we're not saying Frank Vogel can't coach a good defense. It's just you're going to have to come up with the scheme for this Knicks team to be a way better defense with the personnel that they have. And I think that's a lot tougher than to just come into a Lakers team that had the personnel for them to be a top 5 defense or whatever they were that year.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm not insinuating that LeBron James and Jaylen Brunson are the same. I'm not even especially in 2019, 2020 season. However, I am thinking about a guy who dominated the basketball, what James did. I'm also thinking about a guy in Brunson who dominated the basketball, but the offense was pretty similar. Now, you got a playmaker in Jaylen Brunson, who isn't James. You know what? I'm going to get off this because this isn't going anywhere.
We understand where you're going. Like, it could be a watered-down version. Like, Jaylen Brunson isn't LeBron, but he has the ball in his hands a majority of the game. Karl-Anthony Towns isn't AD, but
no, that's kind of where I am.
Man who can score.
I think the separation between Jaylen Brunson and James, in terms of a playmaker, in terms of, I mean, James led the league in assists that year. So if he's leading the league in assists, he's doing so much more with the ball, and the ball's not just sticking to his hands. There's so much more going on, and I'd like to think that Frank Vogel wasn't just standing on the sideline with his arms folded going, okay, roll the balls out. And he was calling plays. He was calling action. That was going on.
I'm just very hesitant to give the reins to a coach who won with all-time players. Like Frank Vogel won with LeBron James. Mike Budenholzer won with Giannis. Mike Malone won with Jokic. It is hard to underestimate how much those guys carry a load in runs like that. And to give your keys to the franchise after firing Tibbs to a Mike Malone, to a Vogel, to a Budenholzer, I think it is very risky because you don't have that all-time talent on the Knicks. Brunson is incredible, but he's not Giannis, Jokic, LeBron, and it's easier to win when you have those guys on your team.
All right, the next guy I got up for you guys is Sam Cassell.
I'm not too familiar. I mean, I know he's been around. He's a good assistant coach. I'd rather go with Johnny Bryant.
Some guys.
Why is that, Joel? I'm just curious because I'm hearing all this Johnny Bryant hype, and I get it. He was part of a great staff. He has a Knicks history, but like, has Sam Cassell not been considered the premier assistant in the NBA for like a better part of a decade now? And Johnny Bryant is much newer to the game. So why do you feel so differently about them as candidates?
And on top of that, Joe, before you answer that, Sam Cassell is giving me North Turner vibes. Like he's an awesome assistant, but when you put him in, when you actually put him
North Turner's a great pull, Joe. I ain't thought about North Turner in a minute.
North Turner was he turned Alex Smith best season.
Great running backs coach, man. The GOAT running backs coach.
North Turner's his best season as an offensive coordinator. Alex Smith, his best season was with North Turner as the offensive coordinator, the best. And Sam Cassell, for some reason, I'm not saying that he's not a player's coach, Joe, because I want you to continue. I'm not saying he's a player's coach, but for some reason, he kind of gives me this really good assistant vibe.
I feel like he would have got hired by now. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been through this process for years now and he hasn't got hired yet. Maybe he's waiting for the right ideal situation. That could always be true. I wouldn't be mad at it though. I'd prefer more of these type of moves where Knicks feel like they're going more out on a limb instead of going with a coach who's won elsewhere. And it's like, okay, you could win here if you want there. I'd rather just more open mind of thinking.
All right, well, speaking of going out on a limb, I got a few more, and I'm going to put these guys on the screen because it is going out on a limb. Now, this guy has been there before, but it's still kind of going out on a limb.
No.
Jeff Van Gundy?
No.
No love for Van Gundy?
He turned around the Clippers defense this past season.
Yes, he did.
He's a great defensive coach.
If Tibbs can't turn around your defense, don't forget who Tibbs is. Jeff Van Gundy ain't coming in and turning your defense around. If Tibbs can't do it. Hell no.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good on this.
All right, next. John Calipari.
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely.
There's some guys
not.
around that are college coaches, and there's some guys that can transition into the pro game. I think John Calipari, I think he's a college coach. I don't think he's a pro. I think he's the guy that's getting guys ready to be pro players. And I think college is his best space. I mean, he has Sam Cassell. He wanted Sam Cassell diving on the floor for loose balls in the preseason. Are we really doing that with the Knicks? No.
All right, well, if Jeff Van Gundy or John Calipari can't get it done, surely this guy right here can get it done. The Godfather, Rick Pitino.
You do know that he's around the same age as not me, Mars, but he's around the same. Rick Pitino's around the same age as Greg Popovich.
No, I thought he was gonna say Hubie Brown. No.
No, he's not that old.
Innovative coach for the Knicks in the mid late 80s as an assistant and the head coach, ahead of his time with 3-point volume. So he was ahead of his time 35 years ago.
Shout out to Pitino, man, one of my favorite coaches. And last but not least, I guess if those guys can't get it done, then our last option,
Chris Paul,
is close. They have the same head shape. Meta World Peace.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I don't know, man. We got to make it happen for New York. But
maybe he can coach.
Before we do move on, I do just want to put the betting odds of who the coaches or who the media thinks that the next head coach for the Knicks would be.
I heard Stephen A was in the list.
You did not hear that.
I saw it. I was scrolling through Twitter. Stephen A got some odds. I might put 10 on it.
You're gonna lose your 10 fast.
Yeah.
Here's what we looking at, y'all. So apparently, Mike Malone, Dan Hurley, and Johnny Bryant are the top 3 candidates to become the next New York Knicks head coach.
I might put 10 on that Johnny Bryant one up for real.
Do y'all see the name at the bottom?
Rick Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any shot? Any chance?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I think that this is interesting timing from the Knicks to fire Tibbs because Johnny Bryant is in his last string of interviews with the Suns for their head coaching job, and it's between him and Jordan Ott. So I think them firing Tibbs right before he could potentially make a decision to coach another team is interesting timing.
I mean, when were they supposed to do it?
Firing Tibbs?
Yeah.
Wait on it a little bit more. I don't think it had to be as immediate, but then again, maybe it did.
Joel, have you been wearing that shirt for the last month and a half? I thought maybe you would stop now that the playoffs are over.
I watched it yesterday. I watched it. I haven't worn it in like a week and a half.
Okay. I don't believe you, but I'll take your word, I guess.
I wish I can make you smell it through the screen.
No, I'm good, thank you. There's still some throw up lingering on that. I know that.
I didn't.
Carson, I'm glad you brought that up because there was a wager that was made, and it was right around the time that let me go ahead and put this on the screen that this happened. Y'all remember? You guys don't really think the Knicks can get with the Pacers, though, right?
Well, they can absolutely get with the Pacers.
Joel,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that y'all
take the fan hat off, Joel. I need you to even take that shirt off. Maybe not right now, but take that shirt off and come to reality.
Hold on.
Really think
Ox got the Knicks serving these dudes.
I'm shocked that y'all. That's what I want to know. I came up here like, what are y'all talking about? The Pacers
Ox got the Knicks serving these dudes. What am I missing?
This team is good because this team isn't what y'all think they are. First of all, y'all talking about their defense. Like they haven't played against this level of defense that the Knicks are going to play with in these playoffs at all. Like y'all are hyped by this Pacers team.
They're better than them defensively.
They're going
better than the Knicks.
No, not this. No, you're talking about what Cleveland was and has been throughout the regular season. I'm talking about what they faced in the playoffs. Like we can't keep talking about they averaged this in the regular season or they did this. They had this rate in the regular season. That wasn't the same team. Everybody was hurt. This Pacers team, this is the second time they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. They haven't beat one healthy team on the road to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Here we go. You want to discredit my guy Halley. Now, around that time, Joel, we made an agreement, right?
We did.
You mind informing the people what that agreement was?
The agreement was that if the Pacers won, Ron would send me some Pacers merchandise to wear, to represent, to show some respect.
Yes.
To show some validity for what the Indiana Pacers have done in making the NBA Finals.
So, with that being said, I haven't ordered your merch yet. I was waiting for today.
Go Ron.
And so you know what we're gonna do? I'm just gonna show the people what I'm gonna order you. Yes, we're gonna do just a little retail therapy. That should make you feel better, right?
Yeah, at first I told them because when we went down 0-2, I texted them. I said you could send the merch already. You could send it on its way. And I told them, yo, give me this one. And it was like a Halliburton shirt.
I was gonna say Joel is a sneaky Hallie Glazer. He probably wants a big Hallie face on his chest.
Well, I think we can do better. Let me show you what I got in mind for you. This is wrong shopping
cart.
This
is what we're on today. Okay,
I knew we was going to.
This is my shopping cart.
John, I knew we was going.
My bad. Hold on. Let me get this off the screen.
I knew we was going here, yo.
Nah, I'm tripping. My bad.
Wow.
Right here. This is what I'm thinking. Since you and your boys is in Cancun, I think this will fit in perfectly with what you got going on. Right here.
Oh, that's funny.
That's nice.
And the weather getting warm up in Jersey too, by the way. So
that's good stuff.
Can he get both?
Yeah.
Can he get what was in your cart, Ron, and this?
Yeah, this might work. With the spandex?
With the
spandex.
I mean, what about these?
Oh, those look good. I like that
one
trunk
all the way
set.
to the right might be
right here. You like this one, John D?
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
That's nice.
Tropical.
Save 5% too. If you guys want a Hawaiian shirt for your favorite team while you're in Cancun, go to Hype Favo. But yeah,
now we need that sponsor.
Are we settling on this one?
I like
Logan.
that one more. I like that one more.
I want Logan to.
Dude, I think we got to get Joel to full matching set, man. I think you're gonna be at the beach looking fresh
in the Pacers gear.
Hold on, so are we doing these and these? Are we doing this and this?
I like the black on black.
My shit too. You ain't gonna get it for another 6 months.
Well, the dark blue on dark blue, I should say.
Dark blue on dark blue. So this,
yeah, that's pretty tough.
Yeah,
this bad boy or this bad boy.
That look like Joe. That look like you right there.
Nah. What do you mean? I'm not Cuban.
100%. That 100% look like you, Joe. That look like something that you would rock.
No, it would not be.
100%. That's you. That's you with the trunks, Joe. I can see.
I like that one. I like that one. That one is the best. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we going with this one.
Yeah, I like that one with the dark blue shorts.
Let's check the shipping info. What can we do? 7 to 14 days. Damn, we don't got an overnight.
The Pacers draws is actually crazy. I've never seen that before.
That was tough. I'm getting some of those.
Yeah, we might have to choose a different option because that might take too long, but we'll settle that elsewhere. But aside from the draws, you will be getting something else. So we'll make it happen.
It's the player choice way. That them boys don't get it started. The player choice way.